the top 10 hottest comic books of the week based off of cover prices data. What we do here is this list comes out on a Monday. We're a live show on Friday. We like to talk. We breeze through the top 10, but Chris here takes the top 3 most interesting comic books from this top 10 list and dissects it a little bit. So let's see what we got on the list first, and then Chris is just going to dive in, and then Eric and Steve are going to let us know what they think as well. And
all right,
again,
sure.
You can comment on the whole list if you'd like. Here we go.
Do it.
Top 10 hottest comic books of the week. We got at number 10, Batgirl number 50, the first appearance of the new Batwoman, who will be in the CW show. At number 9, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 1. This is the second week in a row. It is on the top 10 list. At number 8, we have Batman 102, the 1 in 25 variant, the Jorge Jimenez Ghostmaker variant. At number 7, Moon Knight number 1, his first ongoing series. At number 6, we have the Department of Truth number 1. This is an interesting issue. A lot of rumors here about there's some high bidders bidding for this story. At number 5, we have Captain Marvel number 23. A lot of first appearances in here, including Namor's son and Thor's daughter. At number 4, Star Wars Adventures Shadow of Vader's Castle number 1, the Francavilla black and white variant. Number 3 is Crossover number 1, that secret variant. A lot of people didn't notice what the character on the front page is reading. Secret variant. At number 2 is Captain Marvel number 23, the Russell Dauterman variant. And at number 1, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin number 1. I regret flipping that. I should have kept that issue. But Chris, we have an interesting top 10 list this week, and you're going to dissect it. You're going to let us know. First off, Eric and Steve, do you find anything interesting about this top 10 list? Anything that sticks out to you guys before Chris just gets into it?
Well, I own 5 of those books.
Okay.
And I mean, Moon Knight, of course, man. I've had that whole series, I don't know, 3-4 times, and I'm just glad I acquired it again, in the last year. But I love those Bronze Age books. I am reading some of the other. I'm a big Turtles guy, although I haven't read The Last Ronin yet, so I'm sitting on it. Just haven't had the time. Department of the Truth, number 1 was mind blowing in my opinion.
Yes.
Number 2, I was like, so we'll see. We'll be seeing.
I haven't read number 2, but number 1 was like, okay, this is an interesting direction.
That caught my attention.
Don't want to spoil it for people. Eric, how are you feeling about this list?
I'm enjoying the list. I actually had also 5 out of the 10.
Get out of here.
I didn't have the Moon Knight though, so that's Steve right there. But I actually just got this one in yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
So I'm all in on Ghostmaker. So, I'm enjoying the storyline with him and the character, the artwork, and just the whole fact that you kind of got like a 181 thing kind of going on with the cameo in the first appearance. So maybe they're trying to tell us something if you're paying attention to what's going on with that character. I don't know. So I'm all in on the Ghostmaker. So I grabbed all of those 180, 181, whatever.
Just get them all.
Yeah, right.
Also, the last Ronin, I got in on that too. So yeah, I think they may do us like how you were saying with Hobgoblin. They might not tell us exactly who it is for a while, because I know everybody thinks they know who it is, but I actually with that syntax, how it was set up, I don't think that's who it is.
You think they're going to go without even telling us? Do you think they'll?
I think for a while. Woo! I think they're going to lead us on, because I mean,
you heard it here first.
Why drop it at the first issue? It's like
no. Then
what are we gonna keep reading it for?
Oh, totally. It is an amazing take. It's a fascinating take, and I'm excited to see where everybody's excited to see where it goes. Absolutely. So, anyways, it's an interesting top 10 list. All right, so Rick, what are your top 3 most interesting picks from this list? What do you got?
Yeah, I like everything I just heard. I sat on this one. I sat on this one before I picked my top 3 because there was so much interesting stuff to talk about. I talked about a couple of them last week that I'm not going to talk about this week, but this one, my number 3 pick was my runner-up last week, and that's Moon Knight number 1. This book had a 102% increase in sales, $550 high sale for a CGC 9.8. It just keeps getting hotter and hotter. Yeah. But, this is this is one of those books that is, you know, it came out. It's a Bronze Age book. So when you look at this character already having his big book that's definitely getting out of the reach for a lot, this is another one to go to. I look at this book very similar to the Wolverine Limited Series #1. If you can't get your hands on Hulk 181 or Giant Size #1, this is going to be that book that I think even after all the hype, now you got to obviously take into consideration Oscar Isaac coming into this role and what that means for that and why people are really buying into this even more now. But look, this character has always had a cult following. Before we even knew who was playing this and we just got an announcement, this took off because people want this. They want it. So look, I just trust in Feige. I think what we're going to see on screen for Moon Knight is going to be epic. And this character is going to just blow. And you're going to start, you know, being able to put his first appearance in the same category as the Wolverine first appearance and as Punisher first appearance for those Bronze Age books. So this is that good medium. I think that right now we talk about this a lot. When's a good time to, you know, to jump on a book? Honestly, you missed out. You missed the good time to buy this book. But that doesn't mean that if you're willing to pay what the market is commanding right now, that it's going to be a bad investment, because I definitely don't see this book cooling off whatsoever.
Glad I got it already. And well said, Chris.
Like you attach a guy like Oscar Isaac to this character, and like there's bigger plans for just a six episode series on Disney Plus. Like
definitely,
Feige knows. He knows there is a cult following for a reason for this character. He is like, people equate him to being the Batman of the Marvel Universe. Not so much, but there are similarities there, right? And they're just going to ride that wave, and I really think they have huge plans for Moon Knight here, especially the caliber of an Oscar Isaac.
He speaks to the audience in a way that maybe other heroes don't. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So there's a certain audience for that kind of character. And what Chris was saying was that, like, even before the announcement of a Disney Plus series, his first appearance was already out of reach. Right? So this one, do one of you, I mean, serious, Eric or Steve, do you guys have Werewolf by Night 32? I do, yeah. I got that before the D23 announcement.
Eric, you have 3 appearances. My God, you guys could have done any all-in you wanted, and it would have been fantastic.
Well, you know, we didn't want to have an embarrassment of riches on the show. You know?
Well, you already do. Anyways, I'm glad that's happened. But you guys, I mean, Eric, especially Eric, who has 3, you're gonna be very happy a year or 2 years from now.
I went hunting one day and I stumbled across the 3rd appearance. Just when I was going through one of my spots, and I found Dracula, Tomb of Dracula #1, and then a little bit further behind it was the 3rd appearance of Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night. Can't recall the actual number right now, but and it was the same day that they announced it.
No,
Oscar Isaac was playing.
No,
it's like the owner of the store, he doesn't even care about after stuff. So this is like one of my spots.
That's why
it's his honey hole.
This is my honey hole. So it's like I'm in there digging, and I know which covers I saw in case some news drops. So
See, the chat knows about Eric's honey hole.
I grabbed it quick. But as far as him playing it, it's gonna be awesome, man. He got me with Ex Machina, that character that he played on Ex Machina.
Excellent.
That
was my first introduction to Oscar Isaac. I don't think I know anything he did. He was outstanding.
That shows the range that he's ready for Moon Knight.
By the way, Hood Rat Comics thinks he knows which one of your hunter.
Stay in San Diego, Hood Rat. Leave our place alone.
All right. Here we go. Keep it on track. We got Chris's second choice here from this top 10 list. What do you got, Chris?
All right, my number 2, man, I'm going with some Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel number 23. Now, obviously, there's speculation on this book. You know, first appearance of Namor's son and Thor's daughter. But what's really breaking down some numbers first. 115% increase in sales. A high raw for 23. You know, this book just being a new release and commanding over $20. It's decent. I don't think that'll hold, you know, at least for the short term. I think that'll fluctuate. But the thing that really interests me about this book, and you've seen, I mean, we saw 18 on the top 10 list for a couple weeks, Captain Marvel 18, with the first appearance of Carol's half sister or whatnot. So what's going on for me of why I find this book so interesting is this. If you guys look, this is a character over the last 8 years in the comic books. I'm not talking about movies. I'll get into that in a second, but in the comic books has had so much negative backlash. And look, I'm not trying to point a finger at anyone that disagrees with me about this character or that has certain, maybe they don't like this character, whatever it is. But I'm going to tell you right now, we know where it started from when she took up the Captain Marvel mantle, and instead of wearing some skimpy clothes with body parts protruding, she was closed up in more of a military outfit, changed her name and cut her hair, right? That's when things started changing. I think the creative team didn't know what to do really with the character at that point. Went through so many different things, tried to bring her in as well. We're going to do another Civil War and put her right up there with Tony Stark, and that's going to make her character popular again and all. But people pushed back against that, and then we get the movie, and we had the ugly backlash for the movie. But guess what? For those naysayers, $1 billion stamp on it. End of story. The point I'm trying to make is this. I don't have this book on my list because, it's a hot book and it's selling for $23 already and it just came out. I have it on my list because I really think that this is about these new characters that are being introduced and making the story relevant again, similar to what Donny Cates has been doing, so there's a balance there though. Obviously you got speculation because of the new characters and the new avenue that these characters are going in. But at the same time, I think the heart of this and the success of this long term is going to be in what's going on in these stories moving forward.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, we talked about this. There's a lot of people. And it's an ugly part of this hobby is people that are just stuck. They want to be static. They want the same thing over and over and over again. And any little deviant from that, any new character or variation of a character or diversity or what have you, it's like the worst thing in the world. And we saw that happen with Captain Marvel, especially before the movie came out. Everybody was dogging it for no reason at all. Yeah. $1 billion later, that speaks to what was put on film, right? Yeah. And I don't understand. You got to move forward, right? You got to move forward and expand these characters, or people are just gonna, because the minority is the people that just want everything the same, but the majority of us want to see fresh new takes on everything else, right? And we're seeing that, especially with DC and their future state coming out. That's some exciting stuff right there. What Marvel's been doing with their characters. We talk about this every week. This is exciting, and this is yet another issue here that's showing that, bringing some fresh new characters in that do have, that are attached to older characters as well.
Right.
Funny enough, I saw some music videos of Brie Larson, and it made me like her more. And then she was in that movie. What was that, Scott Pilgrim or whatever it was, where she did the whole singing thing, and I was like blown away. Yeah. And so, I'm into it. And I've got the whole Bronze Age Captain Marvel run. I mean, the books you talk about, Chris, with the outfits, and I got them all. But yeah, you got to move forward. And fair warning on that cover, shout out to Universe X and Ultra Maximus, because they were talking about that cover. And I knew I should probably eat that, but I'm kind of trying to consolidate for my PC these days. And so it just, rather than buying 30 new comic books a week, I let that one sit on the shelf. But for all the reasons you mentioned, Jeff, man, you can't be the old man, get off my lawn. You got to move forward with these books. So.
Exactly it. Yeah. Well said. Perfectly said.
I actually did grab that cover, and I got it for cover price. I kind of knew what was going on because issue 22 also had, I think, Forge and Quanon's daughter from X-Men. So I mean, that was a new character. This is Namor's son. So issue 23, and then I think it's supposed to be Thor's granddaughter in either 22 or 23 also.
Yeah.
So I mean, I grabbed it for what it was. I mean,
you got it for $4, right? It's now,
Right.
I mean, it's now selling for $23, and it's their first appearances of characters that maybe, you know. Hey,
Right.
We Got Issues brings up a good point. Marvel has a cash cow with Blue Marvel, and they're doing absolutely nothing with it. It's a damn shame. I wouldn't be so sure about that, like, because
hold on to that.
From Lords of the Long Box, they're talking like Marvel has plans for Blue Marvel. Do you guys own Blue Marvel?
Yes, I'm all in on Blue Marvel.
I don't have that.
Yeah,
that's on my list. I read it. I think it's a great issue. You know, it's really one of those things that like it's a secret chapter of the Marvel universe, just like the Sentry, how they just kind of like wow you. It's like whoa, wow. So We Got Issues. Well said, and I really think that things are going to happen with the Blue Marvel. It'll just take a little bit of time. They're slowly integrating him in. So that's exciting stuff. All right, but speaking of exciting stuff, Chris has his final issue, his third issue that he finds most interesting from this top 10 list. What do you got, Chris?
What you got, Chris?
I mean, how can I not talk about that book right there?
Bam.
Look, man, 156 copies sold again this week. 135% increase in sales. The high Raw is pushing above $50 now, man. I mean, look, and I think we talked about this last week, Jeff. I swear to you, there are people buying this book for $50 simply because they want to read it.
Yeah.
It's not, this isn't even about speculating in order to flip or make a profit or a return on your investment or something like that, or or trying to go get it graded and slab it 9.8 and sell it off for more. People are really we waited months. This got delayed month after month, and then we know that some of the print run didn't what's the word I'm looking for? Manifest, and didn't populate for consumers to get their hands on it. Short supply. People want to know what's going on in this book. People are wanting to read this. What is going on with these freaking Ninja Turtles that we all grew up with loving and so forth? So I really find this amazing that now here, let me give you guys an example. I pre-ordered mine, right? I pre-ordered mine. So I was fine. I had to wait because when you do the pre-orders, like I have to wait till the end of the month. I think it came out at the end of the month, so I didn't have to wait much longer. But I know some folks were already reading it. I'm like, no. So I ordered it. I get it, and I'm reading it, and it's a square bound, and I'm like reading it like this.
Yeah.
you don't want to mess it up.
I'm like, because I don't want to open it up. I don't want to crease that crease, right?
Yep.
And my son, who has been reading a ton of stuff, and I'm letting him read like my Batman books. Nice. I'm like, just put them back in the bag and be careful and all this stuff. And so, I got Marvel Unlimited, so we can do the unlimited, And he's like, I want to read that, and I'm like, okay.
Let me get you the digital.
Yeah, and I'm like, right. I'm like, digital copy. I can't find it anywhere. I'm like, okay, let me go. And I'm going on eBay and I'm seeing, I think at that time it was like $20. And I'm like, I was really thinking about buying another copy just to have a copy to read. Yeah. But I finally actually found a digital on Amazon. It was the same price of the book, $8.99. But
Russian website, Amazon.
But yeah, I don't know. Just everything about this book right now is really exciting. I pre-ordered issue 2 and I bought 2 copies because I'm making sure that I got one for my son. He can do whatever he wants with it. So number one, man, I think this book has a really good possibility of still being on the list next week for sure.
It's hot. It's hard to get. I got rid of mine and that was just really dumb. Collector. He had a copy in his hand and he put it back, kind of kicking himself. I am too. There you go, Eric.
Yeah. I got a story about this book. My favorite story about this book is the fact that we had someone in the community in Canada named Neighbor to the North. And he's been a supporter of our channel. He even sent in an AOK. And for some reason he missed out on this book, right? And so Azores and I go to the same LCS, so I texted him. I'm like, yo, Eric, you going tonight? Do they have an extra copy? Eric was able to find a copy of that. We were able to send it up north to our buddy in Canada, spreading that comic love. Just so you know, that guy he's given us love. We wanted to give it back, you know, and so he's stoked about that, and that's the beauty of this community, man. You know, and building friends, just like us on your show, man. Now we're all buddies.